The mountains are always calling me. I live in the Netherlands, have done my whole life. A place literally called the Lowlands. So for me, seeing a mountain is like seeing magic. Ever since I first laid my eyes on them, they have been stuck inside my head. Each year I would look forward to returning. Nature's raw beauty. To me they represent adventure, and I can't help but feel like I'm in a movie whenever I visit. So naturally, I take every chance I have to return to the mountains. That's why I spent 2 weeks in Switzerland earlier this year, and I was just preparing myself for another long way to return, when it happened. A friend approached me asking if I wanted to go backpacking in the Alps. Well, you don't have to ask me twice. I've never properly backpacked in the mountains before, so this was the perfect opportunity to experience that. So I packed my bags, and a month later, it was time. I'm going on an adventure. We decided on the Bavarian Alps in the south of Germany on the Austrian border. But first we had a 9-hour drive ahead of us, so we left on the Friday evening and drove through the night. So we just arrived in Germany, castle behind us, that's the first stop for the first day. A long night, but exciting views. So the first day was supposed to be our resting day, but we also knew that we were in the area of Neuschwanstein Castle, and that is a pretty epic place, so of course we wanted to visit that. We went up to the castle very early, so it was very quiet, to take some photos there, and it was pretty amazing. We even went up to the bridge, which gives you an incredible view of the castle itself. So if you go there, I would definitely recommend that place. And then we decided to take it easy at the side of the lake, but that somehow turned into walking around the entire lake, even though it was supposed to be a resting day. Because of course, we barely had any sleep the night in the car, and tomorrow, the real adventure begins. Okay, day 2 of the trip, but day 1 of the trek, and we're currently hiking up the mountain. It's been pretty tough so far. It's pretty steep roads, but it's definitely fun. And we're now in the forest, which is nice and cool, because it's a sweaty day so far. So we always knew that this day was going to be really tough, because of course we had to get up this mountain, and that meant a lot of height meters, and with everything going up and down on the trail, it was well over 1,000 height meters that we actually had to cover on this day. So luckily we passed through some lovely meadows and some nice cool dark forests. What a great stop for a quick picnic and some nice photos. So far the walk's been pretty steep. It's a lot of climbing on this day, because we need to get, well, up the mountain of course, for our first night, and then having a big backpack with all your stuff definitely adds to it. But so far it's really nice. I mean, we've arrived at a pretty nice view, and we have some company from the cows. We're over halfway there. We just have a last tough climb to go, and then hopefully we'll be rewarded with amazing views and of course nice beer. So this is actually the first hut to hut trek that I'm doing. So far it's really fun. Curious to see the hut though, because we haven't seen it yet in person. But so far it's pretty nice. Backpack with all the stuff on my back is not as bad as I had anticipated. So far so good. And then we started the last leg of our journey this day, which ended by watching this guy trying to take off, but unfortunately he didn't have a great success. But we finally arrived at the hut, and we had the most amazing sunset in the mountains. I was so happy, and it was all worth it in the end, just to see this amazing view and then go to bed to get ready for the next day. So this is the hut we stayed in the first night. We had a private room with a bunk bed, which was very nice, and very good meals as well. And then we prepared to set off for another day of hiking. This day was a mix, because we had to also climb again until we reached the highest point of the journey, and then we had to do a descent to the second hut. So the views were very good. It was a different kind of terrain, more open areas, and some gondolas. But of course, we hiked instead. Very nice roads, very steep.
Could have been us.
But we went on, and it was actually a very strange day because we knew we wanted to reach the height point, of course, and when we got there, it really felt like the day was done. We enjoyed a nice meal, we had some views on the hut we stayed the night before, and everything felt alright, but we visited a viewpoint. This was not it. We had to go up a little bit higher before we reached the height of our journey, and then we did have a descent, which we thought was gonna be easy, but oh boy, were we wrong. But anyway, when we reached the top, finally, after all this hiking, the views were incredible.
Well, we finally reached the top, about 2100 meters high, and now we're going down in a rapid pace all the way down there somewhere.
And so we started our descent down the steepest pathways I've ever seen, and with this big backpack on your back, this was very scary, but slowly but surely we made our way down. And the most annoying thing about this part of the journey was that we didn't have a clear goal. We couldn't see where we were going, but eventually we spotted these mountain goats and everything was alright again, because it's just so awesome if you spot wild animals. And finally we reached our hut for the day. And the next day we left bright and early because we didn't get a lot of sleep. We were in a shed room with a lot of snoring, so very short night. But we followed the river down the valley, which was supposed to lead us to this gorge. And I was a bit worried at first because there wasn't a lot of water, but the sights were very pretty. We even spotted this cute salamander walking along. And yeah, it was very epic. The view was great. There was some ruins as well, so the destruction of nature was definitely felt all around us. And it was just nice to follow this path and not having to climb anymore. But I still was very worried because I've been in gorges before, and usually there's a lot of water, epic waterfalls, but so far didn't really see that much.
And now we're in this cave.
And then we finally were in the caves of the gorge, and there was definitely more than enough water there.
So we're making our way down the mountain, just as we did the later part of yesterday. Now we're in this clam, and it's pretty wet, pretty loud, but pretty epic. I mean, look at this place. Last evening here in Germany, and we're here at the Eibsee to catch a sunset, you know, see the mountain glow all orange like. Hopefully we can get some nice shots here, and then tomorrow morning we'll be back here for sunrise as well to compare the two. And then unfortunately the trip is over and we're going back home.
So this trip has been absolutely great. It was my first proper backpacking experience, but I had a great time and I would definitely love to do it all over again. Even though at some points it was very tough, it is definitely one of the best experiences in my life, and it's a great way to experience real freedom and have some epic adventures. So if you're doubting, definitely go do it.